Question. Here with us, former Associate Counsel to President George W. Bush, Jamil Jaffer. As Senior Counsel to the House Intel Committee, he led the committee's oversight of intelligence community counterterrorism issues. I'm so glad you're here because this idea of our own allies distancing themselves, we're also hearing that Canada has also done so over these strikes. So how problematic if others follow suit, let alone who's already done so?
Well, look, obviously the United Kingdom has a great deal of intelligence in that region. Canada, being one of the Five Eyes partners, is critical to our signals intelligence collection globally. And Colombia has long been a strong partner of the U.S. Plan Colombia was one of the biggest efforts that we undertook over the course of decades to eliminate or significantly reduce cocaine trafficking in the region. So these are important partners to the fight that we're taking, that the president is taking against drug dealers in the region. The fight against Maduro and his support of drug trafficking in the region as well. So these are important allies, and them getting off the bus and not sharing intelligence is hugely problematic for us.
Is it more than symbolic? Will it translate to problems for our own security?
Well, it could make it harder for us to identify the drug traffickers, identify who's engaged. At the end of the day, truth be told, we've got very significant signals intelligence capabilities. We've got good human in the region. So while the loss is important, it's not the end of the world. We'll still be able to undertake actions if we want to. And I think we'll still have good visibility into who we're going after.
It's the why for me. I've already talked about the idea of how we as a nation have due process, and I'm not seeing the proof in these strikes visibly. Why are they doing it? It's because they say, in part, it's illegal. What impact will that have?
Well, look, I mean, part of the thing here is that the U.S. government and President Trump's White House has made a decision that these drug dealers are no longer going to be treated like criminals. It's the same decision we made after 9/11 when it came to terrorists, that this idea between intelligence information and law enforcement information, between treating terrorists like criminals instead of national security threats, which they are. The president's made that decision on drug traffickers, rightly or wrongly. He's made that call. Congress isn't stopping him from making that call. So
they have no transparency or eyes into it, though. That's part of their frustration.
Well, look, I mean, the president has indicated he's authorized covert action in Venezuela. If that's true, that means he's produced a finding. That means the House Intelligence Committee, at a minimum, has oversight. Now, look, if Congress wants oversight, they can demand it. They're in the middle of a shutdown or coming out of a shutdown. They can demand oversight. They can hold hearings. They can require the president to come and testify. If he doesn't send people, they can hold up funding. They choose not to do that. That's Congress not enforcing their own power.
Well, we'll see if they do. Reuters is reporting that Venezuela, you spoke about it, is planning to stage guerrilla-style warfare if the U.S. attacks, in part with decades-old Russian-made equipment. What does that tell you?
Well, it tells you that Venezuela knows they can't stand up to the U.S. military if it took a fight, right? It means that they're going to retreat back. They're going to melt into the woodwork in a lot of ways like the Iraqi military did and try to sustain a guerrilla war. That, by the way, is a very effective way to fight a large nation. We see it in Ukraine. We've seen it around the world. We saw it in Iraq. And U.S. forces took a significant amount of casualties from guerrilla forces, military retreating in, partnering with civilians, and then conducting, asymmetric attacks. That's a really dangerous situation for us to walk into. We've had success in other Latin American nations going in and replacing the government. It hasn't always worked out for us in the long run, but we've been able to do it. Venezuela will be a very different fight, as it's clear that at least some significant portion of the regime elements are thinking about and planning for how to fight the U.S. in a long, protracted war. It's not a war that President Trump, I think, would want to fight in the long run.
Our military, the most lethal, they say, in the world, but are we stretched too thin with all these different factors?
Well, look, I mean, we're supposed to be able to handle two large contingencies globally at the same time. We have starved our military of the personnel and equipment and upgrades that they need. It's true that President Trump and Congress did put in a significant chunk of money in the reconciliation bill, but that's one-time money. We didn't make a generational level commitment to our military and our intelligence community, frankly, to really be able to fight these wars long-term. And yes, we are stretched very thin, and we're addressing contingencies around the globe. And by the way, China is seeing what we're doing. They're thinking about making a move on Taiwan. They see us stretched thin as well.
God bless our troops. Jamil Jaffer, thank you so much.
Thanks.